Earth's atmosphere is a swirling cauldron of gases, producing spectacular phenomena that science is still struggling to understand. But some experts believe many atmospheric light shows are actually caused by extraterrestrials. Could the atmosphere's greatest displays in fact be otherworldly organisms? And if they are, what is their ultimate goal? Do they pose an imminent threat to humanity? From Foo Fighters to life forms from outer space, join us as the alien secrets behind atmospheric anomalies are unsealed. A global effort has begun. Secret files hidden from the public for decades, detailing every UFO account, are now available to the public. We are about to uncover the truth behind these classified documents. Find out what the government doesn't want you to know. Unsealed Alien Files, exposing the biggest secrets on planet Earth. Hessdalen, Norway, January 18th, 1982. At 7:30 p.m., local resident Lars Lillefold steps out of his house into the deepening twilight. Here in the far north, the winter skies grow dim at night, but darkness never fully falls. The skies regularly blaze with the northern lights. But looking up on this particular night, Lillevold's eyes are met by something unlike anything he's ever seen before. It's a bright red cigar-shaped object, some 10 to 40 meters in length, hovering perfectly still in the air. Lillevold is struck by its eerie silence and states later he expected to hear sounds, but instead heard only the murmur of the forest. Then suddenly, the object springs to life in a blinding flash of light and red smoke as it speeds away to the north. Lillevold is just one of dozens of local residents who report such an encounter in the early 1980s, as the skies over this sleepy village erupt in a bizarre light show. Between 1981 and 1984, as many as 20 objects are sighted each week, bringing Hessdalen to the attention of both ufologists and scientists from around the world. An ongoing research project is established to collect eyewitness accounts and analyze the data. Astrophysicist Massimo Teodorani has since concluded the majority of the Hessdalen objects are likely comprised of plasma, a cloud of highly charged particles known to demonstrate colorful qualities. But only its external surface, or photosphere, behaves like a plasma, which by its nature is able to hide all what exists inside it. And he speculates that if an alien intelligence is behind the objects, they may be using plasma as a kind of atmospheric camouflage. Are UFOs cloaking themselves with plasma in the skies over Hessdalen? And if they are, why are they concentrated over the small Norwegian town? The answer is still under investigation. But Norway isn't the only European nation that has been visited by mysterious lights. Unsealed case file. Foo Fighters. Agenau, France, December 23rd, 1944. American pilots are on patrol over the city when they notice a strange orange light following one of the planes. The light pursues the plane for 2 tension-filled minutes until it breaks away with a maneuver far beyond the capability of any existing aircraft. It's the first of dozens of wartime encounters with glowing UFOs that will become known as Foo Fighters.
The Foo Fighters was a phenomenon seen by American pilots during the war, where they would look outside of their aircraft and see balls of light or craft flying in the sky. They would exhibit technology that they didn't have, and they got a little scared because they thought that that was Nazi technology, that that was going to be the aircraft that they were going to be facing.
But in the years following the war's end, Allied airmen would learn they weren't the only ones threatened by Foo Fighters.
After the war, we found out both sides were seeing this highly advanced technology, and to this day, no one's been able to identify it.
For decades, experts have attempted to solve the riddle of the flying lights. Many believe the Foo Fighters were in reality a weather phenomenon known as St. Elmo's fire. Bursts of glowing plasma that appear at the tips of ships' masts and aircraft wings. But unlike St. Elmo's fire, the Foo Fighters moved independently of the plane in a way that points to an advanced intelligence. Are the Hessdalen objects and the Foo Fighters naturally occurring phenomena? Or are they UFOs in disguise? And if so, why do they choose to remain hidden? Coming up, we investigate a wave of mysterious lights that invaded the very heart of the most powerful nation on Earth. This is Unsealed Alien Files, exposing the biggest secret on planet Earth. Welcome back to Unsealed Alien Files. Plasma reactions have been cited as one possible answer to the growing concern of strange glowing balls of light in modern skies. But their behavior often seems too intelligent to be mere atmospheric anomalies. Washington, D.C., 1952. The Cold War is at its height, and the sky over America's capital is the most heavily guarded airspace in the world. But on the night of July 12th, an air traffic controller at Washington National Airport spots 7 unidentified objects on radar to the southwest of the city. Shortly after, a pilot preparing for takeoff contacts the tower to report 6 fast-moving lights. The objects make a sudden turn toward the White House and the Capitol. Fighter jets scramble and attempt to pursue the UFOs. But shortly before they arrive, the mysterious craft disappear from radar. But this isn't the last Washington will see of the mysterious lights. Wave after wave of similar UFOs will menace the area for the next 3 weeks before disappearing for good. A terrified public looks to the military for answers.
This was a huge deal because this is not only a big threat to our national security, even in 1952, but it was also something that the government and the military could not explain. The sightings were confirmed on radar. They knew the objects were there, and yet they weren't ours.
General John Samford, Director of Air Force Intelligence, holds a press conference in which he claims the UFOs were likely a simple optical illusion caused by a natural weather phenomenon known as temperature inversion. It happens when a layer of warm air becomes trapped above a layer of cold air, resulting in unusual light refractions and visual distortions. But the Washington sightings occurred in the dead of night, when any such effects would be difficult, if not impossible, to detect. Nonetheless, temperature inversion becomes the military's go-to explanation to debunk UFO claims for decades. Were the Washington lights really just an atmospheric anomaly? Or were they UFOs? And why is the government so quick to dismiss them? Decades later, another anomaly will reopen the investigation of mysterious lights in the nighttime sky. Western China, July 24th, 1981. Thousands witness a giant spiral of light winding its way up through the night sky into the upper atmosphere. Planetary astronomer Professor Wang Xichao conducts an in-depth analysis of the data from the incident and concludes the object's spiraling motion indicates the presence of anti-gravity technology in its drive system. This means the object could be an alien spacecraft, since no man-made craft can fly so high at such a low speed. Nearly 3 decades later, a virtually identical anomaly will appear half a world away, causing both a media sensation and a bizarre cover-up by one of the world's superpowers. Unsealed case file: the Norway Spiral. Trøndelag, Norway, December 9th, 2009. The Norwegian Meteorological Institute is flooded with calls as thousands witness a giant spiral of light form in the night sky above the city. It hovers in the air for nearly 3 minutes before disappearing into the night. Some believe the spiral to be the byproduct of experiments being conducted hundreds of miles to the south at CERN's Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland. Others believe it to be the result of a failed Russian rocket test. But ufologists have a very different explanation. They believe those who saw the spiral were actually witnessing the opening of a wormhole, a passage across the fabric of space and time, through which aliens can travel vast distances of interstellar space in the blink of an eye. But after denying any involvement, the Russians changed their story and confirmed the anomaly was in fact one of their rockets that had spiraled out of control. Were the China and Norway spirals really interstellar wormholes? And why did the Russians change their story? Did the spiral represent a potential leak of vital intelligence? Or does it pose a danger that might cause worldwide panic? Coming up, we investigate the disturbing possibility that some atmospheric anomalies are not UFOs at all, but alien creatures. This is Unsealed Alien Files, exposing the biggest secret on planet Earth. Welcome back to Unsealed Alien Files. Atmospheric anomalies have been denied by governments as mere temperature inversions, but recent multiple witness sightings of strange spirals moving through the sky have many experts believing something else may be behind their existence. Fargo, North Dakota, October 1st, 1948. An Air National Guard pilot on routine maneuvers catches sight of a strange ball of light flying at incredible speed. Though only 6 to 8 inches in diameter, the object races toward the fighter. The pilot sets off in pursuit, beginning a dangerous game of cat and mouse. After nearly 30 minutes, the bizarre dogfight comes to an end, with the tiny UFO darting out of sight. The Fargo object bears a striking resemblance to a rare atmospheric phenomenon known as ball lightning, spheres of electrical energy that appear during thunderstorms. Rather than instantly traveling to Earth like most conventional strikes, ball lightning can last much longer and move in any direction before exploding. But the Fargo incident lasted upwards of 30 minutes, far longer than any recorded occurrence of ball lightning. And in the pilot's official report, he states that he could sense thought behind the UFO's behavior. Not long after, the military initiates a study of all of its recent UFO encounters. They speculate the Fargo object may in fact have been some kind of animal. Is it possible? Could some UFOs actually be a type of bioform living high in our atmosphere? In the 1970s, renowned astrophysicist Carl Sagan hypothesized that gelatinous organisms he called floaters could be living in the outer atmosphere of Jupiter. Little did he know that similar creatures may already be swimming in Earth's upper atmosphere. Unsealed case file: the Amoeba UFO. San Pablo, California, September 1948. Retired U.S. Army Colonel Horace Eakins and a friend look up at the sky as a low-flying bomber passes overhead. Beyond it, they catch sight of a UFO unlike anything seen before or since. They later describe it as a massive, undulating amoeba with a dark spot near the center, like the nucleus of a single, massive cell. The anomaly speeds off to the east before disappearing without a trace. Just 2 years later, another encounter points to the presence of strange creatures living in the sky. Philadelphia, September 1950. 2 police officers catch sight of a UFO and pursue it into a field where they believe it has landed. But instead of a spacecraft, they find a mass of glistening, lavender-colored material that appears organic in nature. Experts call it star jelly. But before the star jelly can be collected for analysis, it dissolves, leaving authorities baffled as to its origins. According to folklore, these jelly deposits tend to follow meteor showers. Is this strange substance really of extraterrestrial origin and being transported to Earth on meteors? Or could meteors be knocking large atmospheric beasts out of the sky?
We've had 2 instances in the past decade where a meteor or comet has come very close, if not within our atmosphere, and left something behind.
What type of creature could possibly exist in Earth's upper atmosphere? And what clues have scientists been chasing that may finally explain these chilling phenomena? Unsealed case file. Alien bacteria. In 2009, Indian scientists launch a balloon into the Earth's stratosphere to collect particle samples. But the craft returns bearing an unknown bacteria that demonstrate a significantly higher resistance to ultraviolet radiation, far beyond any similar kind on Earth. Do these strange microscopic life forms come from outer space? In February 2013, discoveries of star jelly in England are thought by some to have been deposited in the wake of the Russian Chelyabinsk meteor. Can strange jelly-like substances be the carcasses of fallen giant amoeba-like creatures living in our atmosphere? Coming up, is an undiscovered life form populating our atmosphere? And does their presence threaten the entire planet? This is Unsealed Alien Files, exposing the biggest secret on planet Earth. Welcome back to Unsealed Alien Files. Decades of UFO sightings have revealed that many of the brilliant atmospheric anomalies that light up our skies may be alien life forms. Some are camouflaged UFOs, while others may in fact be amoeba-like creatures living in the upper reaches of the Earth's atmosphere that ufologists have dubbed critters. And their presence raises a series of disturbing questions. How many types of these non-intelligent life forms are there? What is the size of their population? And do they pose a danger to humanity? If Earth's vulnerable atmosphere were to suddenly collapse, could we become prey to this alien subspecies? February 1996. Scientists aboard the Space Shuttle Columbia witnessed something out of this world. While conducting a magnetic field test, a tether, miles from the shuttle, is surrounded with objects whose movement seems stunningly like that of amoeba or sea plankton.
We see a lot of things swimming in the foreground.
Are atmospheric critters in our skies harmless, or are they truly beasts? What might happen if our atmosphere were to suddenly and drastically change, allowing them to breach it? The recent discoveries of massive deposits of living microorganisms in our atmosphere reveal that they display a death-defying resistance to ultraviolet radiation, something that our ozone layer protects us against. We have long struggled against ozone depletion, but in 2010, NASA announced that one of Earth's upper layers had suddenly and inexplicably collapsed. Could an ozone-depleted, ultraviolet-soaked Earth create an ideal habitat for these non-intelligent alien creatures? And like a giant school of space jellyfish, swarm our planet with terrifying destruction. This is Unsealed Alien Files, exposing the biggest secret on planet Earth.